What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm JLAG, and I'm here with
NBEA.
And this episode is recapping and reviewing Riverdale Season 2, Chapter 24, and it's called The Wrestler.
And don't forget, stick around until the end because we're going to be recovering off our recap roundups. So our best moments, our best lines, MVP, LVPs, and also we're going to answer some Twitter questions.
And as always, to our continuing listeners and our brand new ones, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy the podcast. Hey, girl, hey!
Hey, you're back.
Yes! I'm so happy to be back, guys.
Riverdale's back.
Riverdale's back.
We're back in the grand.
Yeah, we're doing it.
What did you think of the episode?
First and foremost, thank you to your girls coming through last episode and
we
really
had a good time.
Amazing. Like, you guys killed it. I listened to it when I got back and you guys nailed it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much. And yeah, this episode was the continuation, obviously, of the last episode.
Right.
And
as they all are.
I enjoyed it. You know what it is? You said it last episode with your girls. I just want a teen drama television show. Do you feel like you got it this episode?
Yeah, you're right. It was all teen
It
drama.
was like little FBI moments.
It was a little political towards the end.
True.
A lot of political. But no, yeah, it was good. It had a lot of drama. I almost felt like there was too much drama. Like, it was like, how many things are happening right now? It was like cutting back and forth.
It seems
crazy.
like they're fitting. But I want to use what Sarah said last episode and call it scene whiplash.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much going on with everybody, and there's this major cast, and it's like they want to just shove
fill it up with,
everybody into it. So
like, even the Pussycats made it into this episode. Like, you know, like
So yeah, let's start right from the top. We start off with Juggy Jug Jugs coming through once again with his dumbass. It's been a couple episodes, right?
Yeah.
22, 23, and 24.
Yeah.
Jughead is just like LVP
I can't.
This like second half of the show.
Yeah.
I'm just like not feeling him right now. He's really, really, really annoying. But it starts off with his narration. Yeah. And like, that's the thing. How do you feel about him? In the beginning of the show, he was this neutral character. He was this brooding character who was narrating the story of Riverdale. How do you feel about him being that person now?
So that's the thing. I was actually going to ask you the same thing because I was like, I wasn't feeling his narration in the beginning. One, because I was like, how does he know this though? Like he's talking about Betty's thing with Chick and like her Hiram. I'm like, but how is he knowing all these things? Like, what is happening? Like, he's literally predicting things that are happening from time. Like,
I think that we have to assume that like he is writing this like after the fact. Like, he knows these things after the fact. So whatever. But because he's always kind of said things that are like, oh, how did he know that like Veronica and like,
I know. It's just kind of like, I was like, okay, like chill. Like, you can't know everything because you're not even involved in everything. You're so annoying. You have like one mission and that's it.
So his first line was, everything was the same and nothing was the same.
I hate that line. I hate
like, that line. I can't. But he's in like normal clothes. He's not wearing a Southside Serpent jacket because he's hiding for the winter.
Yeah, he's laying low in the grass, in the tall grass.
So it cuts to like all these different things. There's winter basketball tryouts, so we got like a nice little shot of like everybody shirtless and playing basketball.
Where was Reggie? Was Reggie there?
I don't think so. I don't think
what the hell? That was messed up because last week he was practicing his hoops on the court. Now he didn't even make the cut.
Guys, writers, NB's clocking you.
Like, I'm watching you guys. I know who's in those teams. Okay? Like, don't you had Chuck, but why not Reggie? Because Reggie was trying out last week. Exactly. That's not right. No.
Okay. And then we talk about General Augustus Pickens, which is like the central character of this episode, Pickens Day.
Yeah.
And it starts off with Cheryl presenting like the history of Pickens Day. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, who in God's name still uses those tiny little cell block like slideshow changers
in Riverdale?
Y'all are in 2017, 2018. Don't be telling me that you're printing out these little tiny things and like, welcome to the slideshow.
This is like history class for real.
Like
where we show slides.
Like, what is going on here? So she's talking about how like Pickens Day is Pickens Day, but like the Blossoms funded Pickens to like take over or whatever.
Her great grandpappy.
And she's like,
Like,
and I want to like
chill.
petition it to be like Blossom Day.
Right.
And that was like the end, and like the bell rings or whatever.
So that statue that they were, was that her?
No,
That's
so
not
that was
Pickens.
Pickens.
Oh, that's Pickens.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then I think Jughead's in the room at that point, and
Yeah.
he's like lurking and like annoyed or whatever.
Not paying attention.
And then is Tony in that class as well?
I don't know.
Whatever. So she does her thing, and then like the bell rings, and that's fine. Then it cuts to Daddy Keller, Mayor McCoy, Fred, Hermione,
So random.
Hiram, and
I was
Veronica.
like, and I'm like, wait, where are they? I'm
at
like, this looks
the
like
Andrews
Fred's
residence.
Yeah, I'm like, this looks like Fred's house. I'm like, what are they doing there? I'm like,
They're literally having a
and then it
conference call,
shows-
like not a conference call, like conference.
And then it shows Veronica, and I'm like, wait, why is she there without Archie? Like, Archie's not there. Like, what's going on? It was so weird.
They were having a effing business meeting at Archie's place.
Yeah.
Without Archie being there.
Yeah.
Yeah, very weird.
And so basically they were talking about the event, right? Like the Pickens Day event.
Right.
The lodges were like, we're going to sponsor it. We're going to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Poor Fred's like, I'm sponsoring it too, okay? With
He's
like
like,
$5.
I'm
I'm part of it too.
$2, guys.
And then right away, Mayor McCoy's like, no, like, it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what if like the serpents? I love how like Sheriff Keller was like, yeah, guys, what about the serpents? I'm like, you are the sheriff of this town and you're asking Fred Andrews what you're going to do with the serpents.
Just shut your
Get your
mouth
ish together.
and F your girl and just
Go to
leave the
work.
situation. Like, you're not useful.
He sounds
Don't
so
pretend that
dumb.
you're actually doing anything, period statement. You were there as McCoy's arm candy. That's it. That's all. Don't think that you actually have a job. So
Clearly.
it's totally fine. He's like, I don't know what to do. All right. Yeah, you don't know what to do. So then I guess Archie comes back from school and he's like sweaty from practice or whatever. And he's like, what's going on up in here now?
Yeah.
And yeah, what is going on up in here now?
He's like, can I join? And they're like, no, we're done.
Like, we're done here. Because they were starting to talk about like the Sodale project and
Yeah.
started to get into like the real business, and like Veronica was turning up and being like, yo, like we're gonna like figure this out, and I'm gonna be like the badass bitch and like figure out like
why
the
was she
teen
there
drama.
though? Like,
Well,
like, do you?
that's the thing that I was like questioning too. I'm like, is she legit really a part of this business
Yeah.
situation? And why is like McCoy is like glitching out because she's like, why is this like 16-year-old girl making decisions?
Yeah, no one else is batting
And
an
also,
eye.
I was like, yeah, why is this 16-year-old girl making decisions? Like, let her mom and dad talk. Like, go shop,
And like
girl.
she was at the head of the table.
Like, that's
Like
what
she
I
was like
didn't understand what was
controlling
happening.
everything.
Yeah, so then when Archie walks in, it is an awkward situation to be in.
Yeah.
And obviously,
A,
he's
because like she's like, oh, I'm at your house without you. Like
didn't
what am I
text you
even
and be
doing
like,
here?
just as an FYI,
Like,
I'm
I'm at your
gonna come
house.
through.
Like, yeah, that's
Like,
yeah.
what you doing? You're my boyfriend.
It was so weird.
Okay.
It was so weird.
So anyway, so he comes in, and then they all leave, and then he goes in to kiss her.
This was so close to being my best moment, but then there was something else, so like I couldn't.
Okay.
But this moment, I was like, "What?"
Dun, dun,
like I literally like
dun.
burst out, dying of laughter. I'm like, "She's so savage."
She's like,
So basically, he like goes in for the kiss, and he was like all sweaty. Which whatever, who cares? Like, you're man, like. You've been through so much more
your
than
lips
him being
aren't
sweaty.
though. Like,
And then he tries to kiss her, and she's like, "No, you're sweaty," and she like walks away.
I was like,
I'm like,
"Ooh, Ice Queen."
"This is the beginning of the end."
Beginning of the end.
His face was like,
He's
poor
like,
guy.
Damn.
What did you think of that moment? Like, is it gonna?
I mean, it's obviously she's over it, or like she's still feeling some type of way about the Betty kiss, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was in that moment that like she was just like turned off
She
by
glitched
him.
out, yeah.
Or maybe she's like, I'm feeling myself because I'm
That's
a
what I think it
businesswoman
is. I think
now,
she's like, I'm making like moves right now,
and you're still like
and
this
like
teenage
you're
boy.
at wrestling practice, like
Get out of my
yeah,
face.
for sure.
So I think it was a little bit of both, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we cut to the Cooper residence. Mm-hmm. Let me just start off. Okay, you go.
I just want to say, like, Mama Coop, like, I freaking love you right now because you cook these meals and they look amazing.
Amazing.
She turned the F up this episode. Like, every time they showed her, I was like, there was like food.
Okay, because I was gonna say, we watched the Coopers have breakfast 3 times.
Yes,
yes. I counted it out. I was
the
like,
timings.
we're at the table every effing time
Every
eating
morning.
food.
Yeah.
3 like I counted.
I think one time it was
I think
dinner.
It was dinner.
Yeah,
and
when they
then
were going to the
breakfast.
thing.
I'm
when
like,
it was breakfast,
how many
yeah.
times are we gonna be sitting around this table eating food?
Yeah.
Like I
She
wrote
came
that down.
through,
Again. I
though.
was like,
She
what the
came
hell?
through. She wants to like.
She
give
wants
him
to like
food.
yeah, family life. But Hal's glitching out.
Yeah.
This was like his
time.
episode, I guess. Like first episode.
Oh,
like,
he got it in.
yeah,
That's
like,
for sure.
Sure. So chapter 24, finally they're like, okay, Hal, we're gonna write you into the storyline.
Like you are not
and
here.
you're gonna get
Yeah.
you're gonna get like actual lines.
Yeah.
So he's like interrogation mode. Like, who are you, chick? What's
Like
going
the
on
only
with
reason
you?
why you're here is because literally our daughter like dipped from life.
Right, which
So
is so
you're
rude.
like you're her replacement.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't care.
So yeah, so they're kind of like talking, whatever. It's like a family dinner. Things are really, really awkward. Alice is oddly like quite quiet. Like I feel like in these scenes, like she didn't really come through. She comes through later, but she doesn't come through like in these scenes. She like lets Hal kind of like go off for whatever reason. Did you notice that?
I think she just doesn't know what to think.
Or say,
I think
maybe.
she's like so like excited to have him, but also like where did this guy come from too? Like
Yeah, it's true. So also Betty doesn't realize that like he was lurking in on her last night.
Yeah.
So she's kind of still on Chick's side. She's the one that brought him into the family. So she's like, okay, like let's just like be a fam together. So she's like, what's going on with you? Like I guess they talk about his business, quote unquote.
So that was my question because I was like, I thought it was pretty obvious what his business
Yeah.
was. Like you
So, like-
guys saw his room
like,
with the
we
cameras.
webcam,
And then like he literally called it like fetish something. I was like, oh yeah, he does that.
so that everybody
Like, they were-
knows. now.
yeah, I thought they all
That's
knew what he
I thought
does.
too. Exactly. I was
was
like,
like,
okay,
guys.
so we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
No, we're not on the same page. Somebody
No.
missed
Yeah.
the memo.
They didn't get it.
Yeah. So anyway, and then she says something about her scars. Mm-hmm. He's like, I got scars up in here, and she's like, I got scars too.
The half moon
The half
crescents.
crescent moons on my hands.
Oh my
she's
God.
like, can we like compare them? And he's like, no, I don't even know you.
It's like I have scars on my body.
Yeah. He's like,
Do you wanna
'cause
see?
I done things. Anyway, so whatever. That was that. And then it cuts to Archie and Agent whatever his name is.
Yeah. Adams.
Adams.
Yeah. So random.
Guys.
So random, man.
I don't know what to say about this situation at all.
I don't know.
I just think it's
like
so
I don't even believe
extra.
that he's an FBI agent at this point. I don't
You guys made
understand
a,
this
you guys
all,
made a really
like-
good point last episode. I never even thought that like to question it, but I think that's a really good question to have. Is this guy even a real FBI agent?
Are you telling me this guy's only lurk into Hiram Lodge is a 16-year-old boy?
Like, that's
get
your
outta
only
here.
piece to like go in at?
Like you guys brought this guy down. Obviously, you took him to jail. Now you're doing another investigation. He's the only guy that you have.
And on top
Get
of that,
out.
like
No,
you're not even
no.
wiring him down. Like, no, this guy's sketchy.
Well, they probably
as fuck.
can't even because he's not even legal.
Yeah,
they haven't even
He's not-
spoken to
'cause
Fred
he's
about
not
it.
Real, like he's not. It's
Yeah,
not a real
I don't
situation.
think he's real.
So anyway, he's still talking to him in a soundproof like
It was in the garage, I think,
Garage, and he's like, "Do this for me,"
Soundproof.
and then he's like, "Become friends with Hiram," essentially.
Yeah, like get on his good side.
Because Archie's like, "Yo, I don't even know. Like, he doesn't even like
doesn't
me
like
that
me,
much. Like,
yeah.
what am I gonna do?" And then he's like, "Your goal right now is to become friends with Hiram and like see if you can get more information."
Mm-hmm.
And then Archie's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So first of all, so this is the one thing that I feel like you guys didn't really touch upon too much. Archie is all about Ronnie and like loving her up and protecting her, and he like goes to the FBI agent and is like, yo, like I want you to protect Ronnie if like this all goes down. Does he not clue in that like putting Hiram in jail is going to hurt Ronnie
Yeah, but
in the long run?
if you notice in that moment when the guy asks, he's like, who was there at the meeting? He doesn't say Veronica. He skips over Veronica's name. So he's trying not to include her in all of this.
That's
I guess
true.
he can't process everything to be like, how do I save her by bringing him down?
But why
It's a
are you
huge-
even bringing
I
down
know,
your girlfriend's
I don't know. Yeah,
dad? Like,
because he's scared for his dad. You know what I mean? Like he's scared that Fred's getting pulled into it. So it's like, who's he gonna choose? His dad or his girlfriend? Like, you know?
sure, but I just feel like he's like, protect Ronnie, but like you don't think she's gonna feel some type of way when she finds out
Oh,
that you
for
like brought
sure.
her dad
Yeah,
down?
yeah, for sure. Like he's
just
a
doesn't
kid
make
though,
any
right?
sense.
Like how is he gonna like? Yeah.
Fucking Archie Andrews. Anyway, so then it cuts to the lounge. We get to school finally, and everybody's talking about Pickens Day or whatever the fuck it's called. Pickens Day, yeah.
Pickens Day, yeah.
And so Betty's showing the picture of Chick.
Yeah,
and he's
to
like,
Veronica. She's like,
yeah.
ooh.
And Kevin's like, oh yeah, this is amazing. Who is he? Like, let's
No,
meet.
he was like, he looks so familiar.
Yeah, he does say that. And then he was like, let me like do some lurking later. I'll see what it's all about. So they talk about Pickens Day, and Jughead's there, and he's like, yeah, I'm really pissed about the fact that like
so
the serpents are invited, but like we're like the bodyguards.
Because Veronica's like, guys, we're gonna have so much fun. It's gonna be Pickens Day. Everyone can come, whatever. And she's like, are you coming? He's like, no, I wasn't invited. He's like, the serpents weren't even invited.
And
I'm
she's
like, yeah, you were.
Like, exclusively like invited to the situation. And then he was like, yeah, but like you guys just want us to like be the guards of this situation.
Like the security. Okay, but like chill. Like, I can't. He was really annoying. I can't. I don't want to talk about him.
Okay, so I'm gonna move on because he was really, really, really annoying. And so this is the moment that I also noticed, because Betty was also in this like scene. And Jughead dips. He's like, he gets pissed and he dips. He doesn't even.
He dips to go to Tony.
Yes, he's like, I got an interview. Like,
and
Tony's
Betty was like, cheese. She's like, you're gonna go hang out with Tony.
So I wrote here, Bughead is donezo? ?
Question mark. I mean,
what did you think? Like, what are your thoughts about
I
this?
honestly didn't think that she, like, I knew she still felt some type of way towards him. But I'm like, maybe she's over it. Like, she's like moving on with her life. But like seeing her face in that moment, I was like, oh my God, she still wants him. But like, I don't think he wants her anymore.
Like, maybe they're just tiptoeing around each other. Like, I don't know. But there's obviously not that attraction. Like, he's not going in for a kiss and being like, miss you, see you later. Or
sure.
They're not on like normal communication terms right now. You know?
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting, but also like really sad, because I'm like, they were a Bughead from the get-go, and seeing them just be like, peace out, I'm going to go talk to Tony. I was like, ooh, ice.
And maybe it's also because like Jughead is so cray-cray right now. He's like so like focused on this one mission. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like he's forgetting about everything else in his life.
Yeah, he's forgetting about Betty and her own drama, right? Like, she's like, yo, I just found my brother.
True.
And like, you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. So then it cuts to Veronica and Archie. And I guess they're in class. Are they in class, or like they're in the hallway?
Yeah.
And
he's
basically like,
he's so cute.
So how do I become friends with your dad? And she was like, you want to be friends with my daddy? You got to be a wrestler.
He's like, does your dad, like, I know your dad doesn't like me. And she's like, no, that's not true. And like, she's like full out lying. Yeah. And he's like, girl, you're lying right now. She's like, okay, yeah, he doesn't like you. And he's like, what can I do?
Yeah.
And then they like perfectly like land on like a little like glass like thing, like display.
Like a little trophy display.
And like they have like Marcus Willis's picture like when he was a wrestler from Time. She's like, my dad was the wrestler on this team. He like owns this team basically. Like, go join it. Yeah.
And Archie's like, got it. In this moment, I wrote down, Archie is so unnecessary. He's going through
he's so cute.
Guys,
he was so cute.
But he's going through so many great lengths for the FBI agent. He's not doing it for Ronnie, or is he? Like, here's the question that I have.
Maybe he is though too.
But then why would you add an extra layer as the writers to have this FBI story? Can it not just be, like you said, a teen drama where you're just doing this for your girl?
Because I guess the stakes are a little bit higher when there's that involvement. But I don't know.
Me not care.
I know.
Me not
I don't care
about this freaking FBI situation.
I know. But the entire like Hiram, and I was gonna say this before, like the FBI coming in to make Archie do all these things. I'm like, thank you, because you made it a great episode. Like, this drama was amazing.
True.
So thank you for that. True. You know, like the Hiram Archie dynamic was really fun to watch.
It was the instigation of it all, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess Archie wouldn't have gone there by himself that fast.
Exactly.
Okay, fair enough. So then it cuts to Jughead and Tony, and they're at like Tony's grandpa's trailer. And it's this guy, that native guy that like we always see in like every single show, I feel.
Yeah.
And he's like basically the oldest serpent, and he tells the story of how the natives, I forget what they were called, but like
Yucatan or something.
The Yucatani or something were basically slaughtered by General Pickens and the Blossoms. Is that right? Yeah. And he like killed them all. And he like left only a few.
He killed like 400 people or something.
Yeah, and he left only like a small group of people, and that's how the serpents were created, because they needed to like protect the family. So that's kind of like where it all started. Yeah. And Jughead like is freaking out. He's glitching out because he's like, I'm like a history Riverdale major. Like, how did I not know this was happening? And then Tony's like, it's the whitewashing of history.
Yeah, okay.
Like, so what did you think about this insertion of political drama? Because you know where this is coming from. This is Columbus Day, basically, right?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I don't know. Like, it was like cool. Like, guys, I love how they really like put these like real life issues into the show.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate that. I respect it. I
think
find
it came out of left
Jughead,
field?
yes, completely out of left field. And I think Jughead was already so annoying that this was like, I couldn't anymore.
Right.
Now, when Tony gets involved and gets what I will talk about after, when she gets pissed, I was like, thank you for calling him out.
Yes,
thank you, MVP. But it was just, I can't deal with him anymore. Like, he's really freaking annoying.
Seeing him on screen and his like concerned and angry and frustrated face about everybody's like social justice issues, I'm done with it. I'm over it. Yeah. So anyway, so that happens and he's like, what the fuck? And then it cuts to Josie and Veronica and they're like putting together like a little poster and they're at like Josie's place, like the McCoy residence.
The hotel.
And
they never left.
They never left. And McCoy comes in and she's like, what y'all doing up in here? And she's like, we're gonna be like playing at like we're
gonna perform together,
the Pickens party. And we're going to ask the Pussycats to be a part of it. And then she's like, I thought you were going to do the Beyonce thing and like do your solo career. What the hell's going on? And
like Tina Knowles straight up. Like she's not having any
She walked
BS.
in there like ready to fight.
Yeah.
And so
I think she came on way too aggressive to a 16-year-old girl.
100,
like chill the F
100%.
out. Like what did Veronica ever do to you? Like chill.
Well, like flashback to
her
like
parents are sketch, but like why are you yelling at her?
Yeah, I mean flashback to the moment where like I think they like meet eyes at the table at the Andrews residence and like she's like, yo, Veronica's being like a total bitch right now. And like Veronica's like, yeah, you sit down, Mayor McCoy.
Like, so, what is happening?
Like,
she's the mayor of the town.
Like, why?
She is literally the mayor of Riverdale, and she's giving side eye to a 16-year-old girl. Like, she's what?
Like, what are you doing? So she gets pissed off at Josie, and she was like, "You're not doing this. No. We're gonna talk about this in private. So, bitch, leave." Like, she basically says to Veronica, like, "You gotta go." And Veronica's like, okay. She's like, I'll see you at the next meeting.
You know what I just thought of? I'm like, Veronica has information on Mayor McCoy that nobody else knows.
True.
So don't be pissing off the V because she's got pictures of you with, you know who.
That's a good point. And I wonder if she's even told her parents
I think she'll
yet.
use it. Yeah.
Good point. So then she leaves and then she continues to like talk shit on Veronica. Because Josie's like, what is wrong with you?
What's your problem? Like, what is... Like,
and she was like, you don't understand how the lodges work. They really,
control
really shady.
Me. I'm not going to control you.
They're like using their daughter. And then Josie's like, oh, what's going on up in here?
And like, honestly, I would have hoped that like Josie's a little bit stronger to be like, no, she's my girl. Like, she's had my back. We've like sang together before. No, she like totally listens to her mom. And she's like, yeah, true, mom.
So that happens later. But so then it cuts to Kevin. And I guess he calls up Betty. And he's like, yo, I found your man's. He's a sex boy. He's like a webcam sex man. And she's like, oh.
Well, I'm like, yeah,
like,
didn't
you
know that,
you guys know this?
My question is, what did they think he was doing before? Like, originally, like, what was the idea?
So when you set up a webcam, I guess they thought he was running a YouTube channel? Like, what?
No.
Like, what was it?
His business was called, like, Fantasy Fulfillment. Like, that sounds shady AF. Like, what did you guys think he was doing?
I don't know.
Like, I was so confused.
Like
I'm like, welcome to the party, guys. Like, jeez.
You guys can't be that stupid. You guys are literally a family of reporters. Would you not think that something's... Anyway, whatever. So then he finds out, and then I think she just, like, sits on that information. I don't think she, like, does anything about it just at that moment. And then it cuts to Hermione sipping that Tito.
I love that shot that they did.
It was like a nice little pan.
It was like a pure
shot.
AHS shot too.
Yeah, and then Veronica comes in and she's basically like, so basically I can't do this thing with Josie anymore.
Yeah, her mom like cursed me out.
And then Hermione's like, it's Sierra. And then we find out Sierra
and
is Sierra
that's
McCoy.
the first time we heard her name, right?
Yeah,
I was dying. I was dead.
Dead.
I'm like, oh, it's Sierra McCoy. Okay.
Yeah, it is. Of course it is. And then she's like, okay, so she wants to play that game. Let me deal with this bitch. So Hermione is now like,
her and Sierra are like,
sip some tea. She's like, I'm gonna see her later, and we're gonna talk about this stuff. So then it cuts to the wrestling team. Finally, we get to the wrestling team.
Oh my god, those uniforms! I can't. I had so much fun.
In heaven, yeah. It was in a good.
And it was a lot of guys. I was like, dude, like look at this cast. Like, it was like 40 guys.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. They're like a full like football team of like wrestlers. So
Kevin
then
was so cute.
Archie was like, yes, this is what I'm doing now. Like
Yeah.
he's like in a full out like onesie or whatever, and he's like, this is what's happening. And like, yeah, everybody's in them uniforms. Like Clay, is his name Clay? Yeah, Clay.
Chuck
My
Clayton.
God. Chuck Clayton,
Yeah.
that's why. So Chuck is a part of the team, Kevin's a part of the team, and everybody's like all ripped and shit. I was like loving it. So then they're
tight.
It was toy. It was real toy. And so they're doing practices, and Kevin like pins him, and then he's like, yes.
Pins Archie.
Yeah.
In that first wrestling meeting, was Hiram there? Or no? He wasn't there yet. Or was he like lurking there being like, I am like the owner of this team?
I didn't write it down that he was, but maybe he was like oh,
he was already lurking. Yeah.
maybe
Oh,
he
he
was-
does talk about him. He's like, this guy was like the best guy on this team.
Right. So maybe he was like, hi, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, then they start practicing.
Yeah.
And then Archie gets his ass kicked real hard.
Like really embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, because he sees it. Yeah. Okay.
And then I wrote down, wrestling is so gay.
It it totally is. I was like, Kevin's having a good time right now.
I was there for it. And he says it right after.
Yeah.
Him and Kevin are, so like, then it cuts to like Betty and Kevin. And he's like, it was amazing, Betty.
Best
He
time
was
of my
like, I was
life.
able to pin him down. It was like, yes. I was like, okay, this needs to calm down. Like, they need to calm down. So then they talk about the webcam situation. This is what's happening. And then they like leave. Like, then they like split off, and that's that situation. Because Jughead comes in.
He walks in, yeah.
And he's like, I love Kevin's like gossip column. And then she was like, yeah, because
Was
like,
he being sarcastic though?
I think he was being honest. But then also she was like, yeah, it's because you like basically like left me.
And he did.
He did. He like didn't even come back to the newspaper,
Yeah.
which is kind of tight, I think. Because
Yeah.
like he was all about doing it for the South Side, but like coming back, like you're not going to do it with your girl.
Yeah.
Jughead, you're being
He's
so
cheesing. He's
nice.
cheesing us right now, for sure.
Not happy with it. So then he comes to her and talks to her about
This whole
Pickens
article.
Day,
Yeah.
and like this is the tea, and this is like the story of Thanksgiving for Riverdale. So we got to like expose the story. And she was like, true.
And
I'll do this for
I
you.
honestly love Betty because this girl has the maturity level of like a 30-year-old. Like
Seriously.
in that moment, knowing that he has this story from Tony, she could have been like, no, F that. We're not like writing the story because it
We're
was
not
Tony's
even-
story.
yeah.
She doesn't say anything like that. She's just like, okay, like we'll do it.
Yeah, it was really
Like she's so cute. I love her.
Yeah, she was really good this episode. And so she runs the story, and then it cuts to Veronica and Archie, and she goes to him. Oh, they're at the residence.
Her house. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was like,
This was my
I want you
favorite
to
scene.
sing with me and Josie. Can you sing with us? And he's like, sure, let's practice later. And then it cuts to Betty and Chick after school hours, and he's like pissed at Betty because he's like, you know the time that you like came and saved my life? That guy like basically threw out all my stuff and it's all your fault.
Yeah.
How did you feel about this situation?
First of all, his acting, he needs to go to school more for acting.
Shame.
Number one.
Oh, shame.
When he gets like angry, like I don't
It just
believe
doesn't
him.
feel
It doesn't
real.
feel
Yeah.
like it doesn't feel like right. And she's like, what? What did I do? She's like, I saved your life, bro. Like, what do you want me to do? She's like, I saved you because you're my brother. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell? He's just pissed. So like he
pissed.
like runs up the stairs.
And then like they have like a really quick moment where she's like, I was hoping that this was gonna be long term, and he's like, you think this is gonna be long term? It's like really short term.
Yeah.
And then he like runs away
Yeah.
and closes the door. So yeah, she's confused, and she's like, I just want to.
she's like, I don't know what to do, right? To help him.
And then it cuts to Hiram in his office, and he gets a phone call, and he takes a call, and then it's Jughead.
I was so confused by this
Yeah,
because
it
I
was
was
really-
like, wait, is he taking a call or a voicemail?
Right, because then he just
'Cause he
hangs up
hangs
on
up.
him. Yeah. So then Jughead calls him, and he's like, so how do you feel about the fact that like your Sodale project basically like murdered like 400 people?
But like he doesn't respond to Jughead. Like he doesn't even say like, "Oh hey." He's just like
clicks.
it's like bleep. Hi, Mr. Hiram Lodge. I had and he's like click. I'm like, what?
I was like, so was that?
Did you just hang up
Did you
on
just
him?
hang up on him? Yeah, there
I
was no
was
response.
so confused.
And like it just like is a slow pan to Hiram's face, and he's like,
What do you think his face looked like? Like he was
I think-
worried or
I don't know. Maybe he was like, I need to like get ahead of the situation because
Oh,
he
okay.
does later.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it was a very random scene.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was all about. So then it cuts to Betty at home again, and she feels really bad. So she like gives him like she finds like this old school laptop
yeah.
and then she like leaves it at the front door
with a webcam
and like knocks on the door, and
that was so weird to me.
He opens it up and
so
he's
weird.
like, he grabs it, he like looks at her and he like goes the
back
door.
in.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, I love you.
Interactions.
Take the webcam and like go do your business. Like, it's so weird.
Like, okay, sure, let's just do that. Like, let's just keep this going.
It was so weird.
Whatever. Anyway, so I guess she's trying, and like, I don't know.
In her own
like,
way, I guess.
What are you gonna do? So then it cuts to Veronica and Archie in Veronica's room, and they're like singing and practicing for the thing. And Hiram comes in, and he's like, "What the fuck y'all doing in here, though?"
Yeah. This was one of the best moments.
Like, one of the best, like sassiest lines that Hiram's ever had.
Hiram, and then Archie came through, and I was like, oh my God, they're both like lit right now. I don't know what to do. Like,
so then he's like, you know what? So Hiram comes in, and he's like, you know what? I used to feel really, really sketched out that you guys
like
were up
alone
here.
in the room.
Like, you're in my daughter's bedroom. But seeing that you guys are just like singing songs, I don't he was like, after your performance at wrestling, I don't feel so bad because like you're basically soft. Like, you're soft. And it was like a shady ass. He says it a lot better than I'm saying it right now, because he's like, because you're just like singing with the Pussycats and like you're just a harmless little boy.
Yeah.
And that was like,
he's like, it's better if you just sing with the Pussycats. And I'm like, and Veronica was like, no. She's like, I actually think he's like so like sexy when he sings. Like, I love it when he sings, whatever. And like I was like, Archie has never been sexier than in this moment. Yeah. He's like, thanks, babe, and like kisses her, but like his eyes are like on
he's, like,
Hiram
looking
still.
at Hiram on the side,
and Hiram's like oh, like damn, like they're making out in front of the dad.
He's like, okay, Mija, like relax.
I was like,
she's
Archie,
like, yeah,
damn. I was like, Archie came through right now, like daddy.
That was pretty sassy.
Yeah.
That was a really good moment.
And then like when he stood up, to like face Hiram, he's taller than Hiram, right? So like he's like over him.
Well, he's
like,
trying to, because he's still like thinner. He's like a baby, and then he's like, "See you at trials."
Yeah.
And he kisses him on the cheek and then one.
No, it was such a good scene. Oh my god, it was
so good. And then it cuts to Betty and the family once again sitting down and eating food. Sitting down, just eating the food. Like frig, it's like they like shot the same.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they just like changed their clothes.
Yeah, switch out. Take it again. Do it again. And Hal. Oh my god. Hal is so
shove it, Hal.
Extra. He's like, you know who used to sit in that chair? You know whose room you're in? Polly, the girl that I wanted to go and like do an adoption for. Like, when did you even give a shit about Polly in the first place? Okay, you just.
You're like the worst dad of all time. Like, go away.
Like, you're replacing my daughter, the one that I basically kicked out. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Hal? You're so unnecessary. I don't know how you're feeling right now. So he's pissed. And he's like, you're just filling a void right now. You're like here temporarily. You're just basically here to like fill this situation.
So I know they haven't really like referred to this, but is there like, are we talking about a possible FP being the dad of Chick?
Yes, you guys covered up a little bit on it last episode. I think that is the situation.
Like, do you think that's why he's cheese? Because he's like, I don't know if you're my kid.
100%. 100%. First of all, when you look at the actor that they chose, Hart Denton, for Chick, he's got the bone structure of our man, Skeet Ulrich. So when you look at them, it looks like they would be like it would be his son. So yeah, if that was Hal's son, why would he be feeling some type of way about it?
True, yeah.
He's obviously FP's son. 100%. And maybe
Hal knows something.
And maybe that's why Alice is like shutting her mouth this entire time, because she doesn't say a word this entire scene. True. So she's watching him go off and she doesn't know what to say, because she's like, this is my long lost like child from like outside of our marriage, and he's sitting.
Or maybe she doesn't know for sure either, right? So she doesn't know how to like approach it.
So what are they gonna do? Like a Mari situation?
They're probably gonna have to do that. Yeah.
Come on, like just get it done then.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want this to be like a Kim Kardashian, Khloe like freaking DNA test. Like, like 3 seasons later. Like, just do it right now. Have to do it. Yeah. Like, if that is the question that we all have, just answer it for us now, because why is Hal so effing
I just find it funny
angry?
they haven't like referred to it at all once yet. Like, that's the only thing that they haven't mentioned.
It's been
anything.
2 episodes and you guys haven't really talked about it. Even by the end of this episode, we don't hear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and like Hal is just way too angry for it to be like, yeah, you're my long lost son, but I'm really just pissed at the fact that you're here. No, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why? Like, no. He's definitely FP's son. Like, we called it from time. Anyway, so then it cuts to wrestling day 2. And Hiram is like now like
practicing with them.
Yeah. So he's like got his like shirt on. Like his shirt, and he's like, you have to learn to like dominate the rival and demoralize him, and he's like, I always win, and then he like fights Archie, right? Like he chooses him as like
chooses
the person.
He's like, I need a volunteer, and Kevin's like, me, and then he's like, Archie. She's like, damn it.
He's like, fuck. So then he goes in and he basically like
freaking like kills him
in a
basically.
second.
Yeah,
he's like
headlocks him and like taps him out.
He's like, you're done, bitch.
Yeah.
And then he like,
who's the daddy now?
It's always been Daddy Lodge. So then it cuts to Tony and Jughead, and the story.
Like this scene was really like good.
Okay.
In the sense that I was like, finally somebody's cursing this mother effer out right now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. Like, thank you for calling his ass out.
Because he was so effing annoying. So she basically says, she's reading it out, and it sounds pretty fucking shitty. Like, he's like, I don't know if it was the story that he wrote for Betty to run, or like Betty rewrote it and was like, this is a story. Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm sure it was his thing.
So anyway, I guess he didn't like pass it through Tony, which he obviously should have done. And then he's like, this is so wrong. This is what happens. This is the history of the Pickens like day, and like poor people like
he just made them sound so like victimized like,
and like, why would you do that? It's just awful writing. And she got really pissed,
and the way she said, she goes, this wasn't your story to tell everyone. Like, I shared this story with you for like your oral report, and now you're like going and like using the story as like your thing.
Okay, so like, that's the one thing that I was like, why did you let this like go this far? But you're right, he was going to use it just for the
as
oral
his report,
not for.
So like that too, she's like, that's not your voice, that's not your right to say that.
It's true.
And I love that line from her too. Like, it was really good.
It was like, anyway. So then it cuts to, it just gets really political. I just don't want to get into it.
But I really appreciate it, because I was like, thank you for calling this guy out right now. He got way too ahead of himself.
Yeah.
And he's been getting there too often.
And he finally feels some type of way about it. He's like, true.
He's like, oh, damn. Yeah.
So then it cuts to Josie and Mayor McCoy. And so after the story runs, Mayor McCoy like runs to Josie, and she's like, look what she's doing. She's like, I'm not gonna have you on that stage with Veronica being like, yo, listen, like,
it's gonna be chaos.
There's gonna be protests. And she was like, Veronica and the lodges are gonna have to deal with this ish now, because like, you're not gonna be there. This stuff. And then Josie goes to Veronica school while she's practicing, and she was like, I don't want to be manipulated by the lodge anymore, and like, this is it. Like, I'm not doing this with you. My mom basically said that you're like shady. And I wrote down, but where's the lie? It's true. The lodges are really shady the way they work things. Like, at this point in time, do you feel that Veronica is doing things because she really wants to do them with people, or is she doing it because she's doing it for her family?
You know, I was gonna ask you, I was gonna say, because at the end, I want to just say this now before I forget, at the end we see Veronica with the Pussycats. We know that, right?
Yeah.
Do you think this was all sort of like a setup for that to happen, like for her to push out Josie?
No.
Completely?
No. I don't think so. But that being said, I am starting to question her motives. Like,
because she could have easily gone back to Josie and been like, girl, like, just come back. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. She doesn't do that. She's just like, Josie leaves and that's the end of that.
And I guess that's like the reality of like Veronica's character right now. She's starting to turn into her parents. Yeah. And like, she's starting to like become like a proper lodge. So anyway, Veronica's like a little cheese, and she's like, shit, and like, there she goes, she's gone. Then it cuts to our girl Cheryl and Penelope. We have a quick moment, and Cheryl's like really sad. She's in front of like the Pickens statue, and she's like crying.
First of all, I don't understand why the mom is not a Blossom. The mom married a Blossom.
Yeah.
So like, why is she so like lit on like this whole family history? She's like, we were like the family from time. We owned everything, all the soil. I'm like, okay, but that wasn't your fam. Like,
right.
You married a Blossom.
Right.
Right.
Like that's.
I don't get it.
Why are you?
Like, why is she so turned on like on their history?
But at the same time, she's not. I mean, I think the only reason why they gave her that moment was so she can say, we were operating saloons and the brothels. And she was like, we owned it all. And she was like, some things just don't die. I'm like, you're such a hoe.
I love her. And she was like wearing leather pants. I'm like, girl, you are amazing right now.
All this woman needs is like a long cigarette. And I'm like, done. Yeah. I'm done.
So maybe we can ask our fans this, because I want to know. They've said that Blossoms kind of marry into each other, right? Yeah. So maybe she's already a Blossom too, like a distant cousin of like the Clifford or whatever. Yeah. So maybe if you guys know, let us know. Tweet us.
Yeah. Then it cuts to Kevin and Archie in the locker room. And Kevin has like a real moment. For the first time, he's not being like a sassy gay man. Yeah. And he's like, so why are you like even joining the team? And Archie's like, in all honesty, like it is to like prove something to Hiram, because I feel like he just hates me, right? I think that's all.
Yeah, that's what he's like.
And then that's the end of the scene.
He's like, it didn't start like that at first. He's like, but then I'm like, yeah, like I want to prove something.
He's like, I mostly did it because like there was an FBI agent involved and like I need to get some dirt on him, but basically I also want to prove myself now. So yeah, that was a kind of weird, random, real moment for Kevin.
Yeah.
But it was, extra. So then it cuts to Betty and Chick, and Chick finally is able to like open up to her, and he's like, why did you give me the laptop? And why did you like pick me up from that place? Like, why are you doing all this stuff? And she's like, our favorite line?
Darkness in me.
There's a darkness in me. I want to do a remix. I want to find all the moments where she says there's a darkness in me, because I feel like this is like the 7th time that she said it, and like do a song.
She's like, I have a darkness in me. You might have a darkness in you.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm trying to figure myself out.
She's like, let's compare scars. And he's like, nah, I'm not about that life, but like cool that you're crazy too. And then like that's the end of that scene. Then it cuts to Hiram and Archie, and this is like a pretty turned part of the episode where he's basically like, why do you hate me? Like, why don't you like me? And Hiram like goes in real hard, and he's like, your father slept with another man's wife. Like he like just like lays it right down. It's like, your dad fucked my wife. Yeah. So basically,
which is like confirmation, because we didn't know for sure if they did.
True, exactly. And then he's like, you could do this, and he's like, but that's my dad, and like that's what his situation was. And he's like, you're not good enough for my daughter, you'll never be good enough for my daughter. And then he like throws the whole shade where he's like, I took care of your daughter while you were in jail. I was like,
yeah, he's like, who was taking care of your daughter when you were behind bars?
And he's like,
you did not just say that to me.
Like, you did not just say that to me in my house. I was like, this is like, getting so intense. Good. It was so I'm so shocked that neither of them like punched each other out.
Yeah.
So actually, like, really, really escalated. And then Veronica walks in, and she's like, what the hell is going on? Why are you guys beating each other's chests right now? And then he's like, no, we weren't. We were just like having like a really friendly conversation, and I think we're gonna do some like one-on-one training. So then it cuts to the next.
She's like, yeah, okay.
She's like, all right. And then he's like, bye. And then it cuts to Archie getting a phone call at like 2 a.m. in the morning, and it's like, get downstairs, we're gonna start running. So then it shows like
the training begins,
and like Hiram and
they're
Archie
like
are
jogging through the woods,
and like Hiram makes a point at one point in time to be like, yo, I'm really
he
fast.
Like sped up,
he like ran really fast, and Archie's like, oh fuck. Yeah, I just love Mark Consuelos and the fact that he's like super, super fit. Like, I love the fact that they made Hiram not this like billionaire old man.
Yeah,
they made
like
him
stuffy, like
they
very
made him like a
cool.
very like,
he's like
cool
a cool dad.
Yeah, and like he's a kick-ass dad.
Yeah.
So anyway, he kicks his ass pretty hard in the running game, and then they go to Pop's diner to like eat food, and he like continues the conversation that basically he had the night before, and he's like, it like the one thing that I like about wrestling is like it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter like how smart you are or whatever, it's all about like your sheer will to like beat the other person. And then he's like, but by the way, you're never gonna win because like I'm the best and I'm like number one and you're like just like some waste man. You're never gonna be good enough. Like he says it again.
And he says, he's like, boyfriends come and go, fathers are forever. Which and I'm like, true. Damn, it's so true though. Like, yeah.
Daddy forever.
Yeah.
And you're never going to be daddy.
Do you think Archie got like thing by that? Like,
I mean, this is going to be their dynamic.
Yeah,
this is what it is.
that's
And
true.
like, they're just going to continually have this like situation. He's never going to like really feel some type of way.
But is Hiram's like Hiram hates Archie? Like he really does.
Yeah.
Is it because of Fred? Like is that the only reason?
100%, but I think it's also like the protective father syndrome. Like,
Okay, yeah.
you just don't like want to trust this guy.
Yeah.
Like, Archie doesn't have the best like bill on his docket right now. He's like a waste kid, doesn't have like a job. Like, he just sings, and I don't know. I just think he just doesn't like him. He doesn't trust him.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely that like the Fred connection is like hurts him too, pisses him off. So anyway, so there's that situation. Then it cuts to Veronica and Hermione, and Veronica's like, Josie don't like me no more.
I love this moment because Hermione's like, honey, like Mija, like what's wrong?
Yeah.
Like is it your Archie and your dad? Like they're
Yeah.
fighting. She's like, no, my other issue. She's like, Josie.
There's like more.
She's like, I got too much drama in this episode.
Yeah. And so she's like, let me take care of it. Again, Hermione's like, let me deal with her. And then it cuts to Jughead and Tony, and Jughead's like, me so mad, me so sorry. To like, he has to basically apologize to the grandpa. And the grandpa's like, you opened up an old wound, and now we have to do
But
something
then why would you even
about
tell
it."
your story to this random kid? Like,
I mean, yeah, it's true. But also, like, they wrote an entire expose and, like, released it to the entire public. So, yeah, it's pretty intense. So then it cuts to that situation. And now he's like, something needs to be done. And you're like, oh, no, what's going to happen at the Pickens party? And then it cuts to wrestling tryouts.
Yeah.
And Veronica comes through for the
yeah,
final.
everyone's
She's
like watching now.
yeah, so she's like, my dad said that this is the final. So, like, I'm here for you. Like, good luck. And Archie's in, like, the toy onesie. I had to write that down.
And then he's not wearing his shirt this
He's
time.
not wearing a shirt this time, and I was like, yeah.
These uniforms
Just
are
clocking.
killing
I was like,
me.
God bless. I wrote down, God bless wrestling uniforms. That's what I wrote down, and it was just like a very great moment. And so he gets paired up with Chuck. And for a moment, like Archie's like, he's
No,
like a weight
'cause Chuck-
class
yeah,
higher than me.
Chuck-
like, what's
he's
going
like,
on?
no.
And the guy's like, I don't give a fuck. You're gonna
You're going up against
so
him.
go. And all my gay dreams came true in this moment, and they
With Chuck and Archie.
they just like fight each other, and they're just like wrestling on top of each other, and he like pins him and then he doesn't pin him, and I'm just like sitting there like, yes. So it was a good moment for me. And so Archie finally like, pins him at the very end.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at Hiram through the stands. And
As
he's like,
if.
I did it, daddy.
He's like 1, 2. Yeah, it was like
And he
slow
wins.
motion.
And then like Hiram stands up and he's like slow clapping.
Yeah, because like
He's
Thing
like-
was so happy.
He's
Veronica
like,
was so
I
happy.
am impressed. It's like, I'll talk to you later about this. And so then whatever. So then he like beats it. Archie's like, yes, like I'm like winning now. And then it cuts to Betty and Chick. And once again, they're like sitting at the table and eating. And Hal is like, I'm not coming to the Pickens party because like I'm really, really pissed off right now. And then
I
like,
love Alice because she's
Alice
like,
feels-
yeah, I ain't gonna beg you though. Like
yeah,
you can stay home
she's
if
like,
you want.
Goodbye. She just doesn't even care.
She doesn't care.
She feels no ways about it. And she should have invited FP.
I was waiting for that. That's what I mean. Like, I
that
thought
would've been
FP was
so
gonna show
good.
up. Like
That would have been
they
so
said they
good.
didn't
Too much-
hire
that would've been
Skeet
way
Ulrich.
too much
Like,
drama. There would have been way too much drama. He like took the day out. He like went,
Yeah.
he went off. So then it's like the Pickens Day party and
Yeah.
everybody's like having a festival.
Yeah.
And right off the top, Hermione goes and talks to Josie and Sierra. She's like, I forbade like Josie to like do this after the article because we have to protect our kids.
Yeah.
And Hermione's like, okay, bye. I don't like nothing really
yeah,
happens.
she didn't see much.
She just like they just have that really quick moment and then like that's it.
Yeah.
And so then
But like you're still at the event. Like
yeah.
like
Also, I was really, really upset about the fact that like Mayor McCoy is useless as fuck. She sees a situation about to happen and she doesn't do anything about it. She's just like, shit's gonna hit the fan. I'm like,
Yeah.
but
her
you
and
can,
Sheriff Keller.
like you can diffuse it though.
Yeah.
Like you're the mayor.
Yeah.
You can put out a statement. Like that's your job.
yeah.
Anyway, whatever. So she has that really quick moment and then it cuts to Hiram and Archie and they like finally shake hands.
Yeah.
She's like,
Good job.
well, like, good job. And then Archie's like, are we done now? Like, are we like good? And then he's like, why don't you come by the Pembroke? We'll talk about some shit after. And then he's like, cool. And then it cuts to like the Cooper fam and they're coming through.
Such a cute moment.
And Chick is like, yes, I've never had like a sticky maple syrup, whatever.
Yeah.
And like Alice is so happy.
She literally says, "I'm so happy."
Like,
I was like, my
so
heart was like, so full.
yay.
I'm like, she's so cute.
And then, of course, Hal has to come and ruin the effing moment.
They're like, "What are you doing here?" Like we thought you
uninvited you.
Yeah.
Like, why are you even here?
Why was he there? Just to say like what Chick actually does? Like, just wait till they get home.
An effing ruckus.
What a loser.
And he's like, you know who he is. You moved into Polly's bedroom, and then, and like you're like a sex monster,
like a webcam whore.
And like it just like gets really, really.
What
intense.
does Alice say? Was she like, I don't care, or like?
She gets pissed. She was like, Hal, step the F off. This is my son.
Yeah.
I threw you out once, and I could throw you out again. I was like, yeah, girl, like drop that mic. So then he like dips.
Yeah.
But before he dips, there's like a really quick pan where he like leaves.
He like storming off.
He storms off, and then Penelope's like
Penelope.
eating a little like candy.
She's like sucking on an apple.
She's like, la, la, la. She's like waiting.
Yeah.
She's like literally waiting.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, you're right. Like, even in that moment, he's so easy to dispose of Chick, but Alice can't because she's like, this kid for sure is my son.
Yeah.
Whereas for Hal, it might not be his son.
It's definitely not his son. But like, even if
that's why though, like, he's like, I don't care.
But like, here's the thing too. Even if it wasn't maybe not your son. What if it was your son? Then you're gonna be like, I'm sorry, I was being a dick to you this whole time. Yeah,
exactly. It's like he knows. Like,
it's definitely not his son.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she's like licking that shit like a hoe. Like then it cuts to like the next scene. I guess there's a commercial break, and then like it cuts to Penelope again, and like the like pussycats are about to go on, and she's like, like she's like just lurking in the corner like a. Anyway, I couldn't even with Penelope.
So it was really funny, guys, because this week on our Instagram, if you follow us, at
NB
Recap,
like turned up. Okay, yes. So I need to like preface this. NB is like the prediction queen of all time. She put together these amazing Instagram posts. So check us out at recap_rewind. And they're basically like phone lurk messages, like iPhone messages, and she did one on Penelope.
So we were doing, I think the first one we did was Alice, actually.
Right.
So we did the Alice one, and in the Alice phone lurk, there's a mom group chat.
Yeah.
And in the mom group chat, you have a bunch of like, you have the Mayor McCoy, you have Hermione, you have Alice and Penelope.
Yeah.
And in this group chat, when I was like typing it out, you have Penelope writing to Alice being like, like Hal was with me last night, and like he didn't tell me that I was like disgusting or whatever.
Yeah, because like basically like in the group chat, like Alice is coming for Penelope.
Yeah.
She's like, you're actually so disgusting.
Yeah.
And then like her throwback like
to Alice.
NB wrote like, yeah, she was like, that's not what he said, like Hal said to me last night.
And I'm just like, guys, I'm just having fun with this. Like, you know, we were just cracking up. So
it was jokes. I was dying. I died of laughter when I was reading it. And I was like, this is a total
And then the
joke.
night before, I see a tweet from Hal, like the actor, and being like so and so, me and Penelope. I'm like, wait, what? Like, is this gonna actually happen?
So I was laughing about it, and then we watched the episode.
I'm like, my god,
gagged.
Like,
I was literally so gagged because
predicted
the situation.
The phone lurk is the truth.
The phone lurk is the realness.
Oh my god, I was dead.
Definitely subscribe to us because we got the fucking tea.
Yeah,
clearly.
seriously, guys.
Clearly, we got the tea. So. Yeah. So anyway, so this is the situation that's happening. Clearly, Penelope is like lurking up on like the man,
and she does go up to him after, and she's like, "Do you want the real dessert?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." He like looks at her and like,
I can't.
She's like, "Do you want the real dessert though?" And he's like, and he looks at her like he was like down for it, you know? I'm like, "Oh, like is he gonna go cheat on Alice?" They're still together right now, so it would be cheating.
Ooh, yeah, for sure. Anyway, so we'll come back to that later.
The side drama.
So then the Veronica and the Pussycats go on, and they sing a song, and I was like kind of feeling it. It was called like The Union of the Snake.
What do you think about her voice?
She's good. I thought she was good. What did you think? Not so much.
No comments.
Ooh, shade. Oh, shade. Anyway, so she goes on, and I noticed at the top it says Sodale Stage. Like it's a Sodale Stage, so I guess like that is the thing that Hiram's taking over.
What?
Like the Sodale project is like that whole area?
They're going to build on that area. Yeah.
So anyway, so that's just like a side thing. So she's singing, and then these protesters come through with tape on their face,
like
and
sweet pea, corn,
sweet corn, and like all the other people. Jughead comes through, and they're like, honor this land, honor our people, and Cheryl like throws like the candy apple to like Penelope, and then she joins them. She like comes through for them too. Like she comes to the front, and Tony comes up with like her little like protest thing, and she's like, Pickens Day is a lie. We need to honor the people that you guys killed, and this is what it is. And it's like awkward silent moment, you know, it's like a dear white people moment. And then then Hiram takes the moment to like, be like, okay, I gotta come through.
Yeah, like while Tony's still talking.
Right. And he lurks in, and he's like, you know what, it's really, really good to see that these like kids are like standing up for social justice, and like we do need to like remember the Ukatana people, and like we have a rich tapestry, like whatever. He basically does everything that Mayor McCoy was supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it cuts to Mayor McCoy, and she was like,
you're so right. Like she's so what like are you useless.
Doing? What are you doing?
You're so useless. It's
like,
true.
You like, why are you the mayor?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of being a mayor? Just because you won Birkin
and
bags?
Like, honestly,
like, what the hell's wrong with you?
And honestly, like Hiram came through. Everyone was like, true. And Hermione, I have never seen Hermione so impressed
horned.
And she so horned. She was like, oh, I'm gonna take this man home tonight.
She was like, we're gonna play chess. We are playing chess. Check out that phone lurk too, by the way. I was dead.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was really, really, it's actually really cool to see the lodges turn up. They like kind of gone from the stoic cold family in the Pembroke to,
you're right, to like
now
getting
involved.
Yeah,
and they're like
it's
being
true.
people, and like they're being active.
Yeah.
It was really good to see them out and about and like kill it, really. And yeah, and if everyone's happy and like everyone's clapping, and then Jughead like is about to like come through, and the grandpa's like, you stay here.
He's like, stop, you've had
the
enough.
grandpa was all of us basically. He's like, you sit down, you fucking Jughead, you waste man, get out of here. And then we get our little quick moment with Hal and Penelope. So it's like nighttime now.
Yeah.
So like it's been time, and Hal's been like moping, and Penelope's like, hey, like, you want
the real dessert? And then he's like, huh?
He's
like he doesn't look pissed. He's like, oh, he's like intrigued. And then they walk off together.
So before we get to do you want to get to the end of it later? What do you think about the situation?
What, between Hal and Penelope?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, it's pretty effing random. That's for sure.
True.
What I was thinking was, I'm like, maybe he's trying to get to know her so that he sort of starts to like know the industry maybe, and then like can find out who Chick really is.
But you also have to remember that their families were fighting. The Coopers.
Yeah, I don't know. So then he's just gonna go hook up with her.
Yeah, I think
that's all it is.
It's like revenge sex or whatever.
Yeah. Which, you know what, guys, makes the most sense, because I feel like Alice needs one more thing to be like, I'm done with you, Hal. Like, now I am done with you forever. And if they find out, which they probably will, that they hooked up, they'll be done for sure. And then she'll be open to like go to FP.
I just still think it's like a mind blow that like NB booked this dish from like a phone lurk.
Guys,
like,
please go to our Instagram at recap_rewind. Just look at the Alice phone lurk. You guys are gonna die. Like, actually, like, how did this happen?
Oh my gosh. So then it cuts to Chick and Betty, and they're having like cool, cute brother sister moments this whole episode. And finally he's like, listen, this is what I did the night before when I first got here. I came into your room and I lurked in like you, like a really freaking weirdo. And she was like, what the fuck? And he's basically like, because I was trying to figure you out. Like, I wasn't sure who you were, and like, why are you taking care of me, and like, who are you? And so then they have like a really real moment, and he's like, I realize now that you're like a really cool chick, and like, I love you. He doesn't say I love you, but like, he's like, you're cool. Whatever.
You like took it too far. You. Yeah.
And then he's like, I understand now that like you're like me, like we both have like the darkness. And he's like, that's the reason why I do what I do, is because it helps me like get away from the darkness.
Escape, yeah.
And then she was like, how do I do that? And he's
She's like, show me more.
Let me show you. And then it cuts to like the Jughead like narration where he's like, this is the beginning of Dark Betty's dark education. And I was like, okay, whatever. I don't know what that means. And then it cuts to Hiram and Archie talking, and he's like, then it cuts to like them like doing criminal behavior or whatever, and then basically Hiram in his study is telling Archie like, I'm impressed with you now, what do you want to do with your school? And Archie's like, I think I want to do like business now, and I want to like take back Archie, like Andrew's Industries from you. And he's like, maybe I want to like take some courses.
Yeah.
Or no.
So basically Hiram
basically is like, I want to like be my
like,
intern.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And like then he's like happy. I don't know. I didn't know if he was happy because he was like, yes, I'm getting him because like
I couldn't tell either. I don't know.
Like, yes, I'm coming through.
I almost feel like, and this is probably one of the most interesting themes if it does happen. I mean, along the way, as Archie's trying to find information on Hiram, he sort of becomes Hiram, right? Like he gets so intertwined in Hiram's world where like he becomes that too.
But here's the thing. I think this whole thing with like the FBI agent, because the FBI agent calls in that moment and he like hangs up on him. So like, was it like, oh, I'm not going to be the honorable guy anymore, or is it like this storyline is dead? Because like I don't mind that either.
Well, like I don't think he could answer the phone call when he's in Hiram's office.
Like, hey,
so like he didn't have a choice really. Like it was kind of a weird moment because I'm like, well, he can't answer the phone. Yeah, Avi.
So anyway, they're being like,
so
he's interning him, and like that'll like get him closer either way.
Yeah, but I want to talk more about the chick and the Betty scene, because what did you think about that whole?
I liked it. She showed her like crescent moons, and
so people were saying that he is the Black Hood.
No, guys, no. Yeah. You said it last episode too. He's not the effing Black Hood, guys. Like, let's cut that out of your ideas. I know that they might have set it up that way, but no,
they did it on purpose, like trick everyone. No,
Come on,
I don't think he's the Black Hood, but. Are you down for him to like show Betty this like weird other world?
I want to know what is.
Yeah.
I want to know what that entails, because like he's like, let me show you what. So she's gonna become a webcam hoe too. Like,
that was weird.
I was like, okay, like Dark Betty's gonna come through. I don't know. So that was that situation, and then it cuts to like Jughead's final scene where he was like, oh, then the darkness was like crazy, and it shows Hiram, McCoy, and Keller, and they're like in front of the statue, and then it pans up and he's like, what are we gonna do about this? Was it the serpents? And then like the Pickens Day,
his head was like cut off.
Head was chopped
I'm like,
off.
I bet you was Cheryl.
Like, yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously, because she does that shit, and she like painted it red or whatever.
Wait for the phone lurk.
100% answer. Oh my god, take a picture of it. Yeah, 100%. So that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, it was good.
Good episode. Really, really action packed, filled with a bunch of stuff, lots of half naked guys. So I was good.
Not half naked, tight spandex is what we're looking at.
True. So let's get into our
recap roundups.
Best moment.
So what was your best moment?
My best moment was the moment when Veronica and Archie are in her bedroom and Hiram lurks in and he's like, oh, I'm not even worried, Archie, because like you're such a wimp, whatever. The dynamic between the two there, I was like, damn, like
pretty crazy.
And I love how they give Archie those moments too, because he can have his stupid gullible Archie moment, but he had this really sexy and like turned up moment. I was like, damn, like okay, like I see you. That's so true. I like that moment.
Good moment. My best moment, Avi. I'm like a horn dog, guys. So it was the wrestling tryouts, like all of them, every single one.
Each
day
one.
Day 1, day 2, and day 3. It was just like good eye candy. I'm not gonna lie. That's just what it is.
WTF moment. My WTF moment was right at the end with Chick and Betty when he's like, I do webcam, like here's the computer.
Introduce you to the darkness.
And I was like, what the hell? Like she's gonna do this too now?
Yeah.
Like I was so confused by it.
It is a WTF.
It was so
like, what are you
and it was so
now?
weird. Like if you really think about the idea of it all, I'm like, this is such a weird thing to talk about on this show. Yeah. Like where are we going with this? Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see like where they go with this, the writers. So, like very interesting.
Oh my god, maybe she's gonna be like Dark Betty on it.
That's what I mean. Yeah, she's gonna like.
Oh my god, she's gonna wear her wig. Oh my god.
She's like, let me get my wig. I'll be right back.
Oh, that's so weird. Okay.
My WTF moment was Hal and Penelope.
Yeah, for sure.
First and foremost, I was dying of laughter because NB booked it, but also on top of that, like as a viewer, I guess, who didn't book it, you're like, what the hell is happening? Why are they getting together? And like, why is Penelope being such a hoe? Like, I just thought it was a funny situation.
Yeah, it was because it's so random, right? Like they never have scenes together.
They never had a scene together.
So for her to like swoop in and she's sucking on this apple and like especially after the phone lurk, I was dead. I was dead. MVP. My MVP is gonna go to Cheryl because I feel like she didn't have like the most savage lines, but her actions were like beautiful. Like even at that moment when they walk in, she leaves her mom and she like joins them.
Right.
And it's in those moments where I'm like, this girl is so good still. Like she really is, and she wants to do good.
She had a good person episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she was a good person this whole episode.
Even like her inquiring, like, mom, like what happened? Like what did he do? Like they killed somebody. Like I just love her.
Yeah. And it will be really cool because I think you might be right. She probably was the one who cut off that head because she was probably really pissed about everything.
Yeah.
So if that is, she's even more.
Maybe her and Tony and like they like bonded that night.
People are down for that.
People are shipping it. People are going. I have to include that in the phone work because people are shipping Tony and Cheryl.
Speaking of Tony, she's my MVP of the episode because I feel like she turned the F up. She told Jughead, "This is not your story to tell. Sit the F down, white boy." And she like turned up for her whole crew, like the Serpents and her grandpa, and like I think she like this was a good episode for Tony.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
So yeah, she's
and how she called out Juggy too, like like I love that.
Go away.
Yeah,
for sure.
LVP.
My LVP, I'm gonna say there was a few of them, but I'm gonna go with Mayor McCoy.
Yeah.
Just because of even what you were saying, I was like, it's true. Like in those moments, you are the mayor. You should be that go-to person,
like,
that person that's there, that's
what
connecting these two worlds. You're not doing shit all.
She's like, run, Josie, run.
So you know what, Sierra? No.
Sit down, Sierra. My LVP is Jughead because you know, we just have to include him at some point in time.
I feel like he's been the LVP like all season
long. He's just he's still really annoying. I'm glad that Tony clapped him back because it made me be like, okay. And like even the grandpa was like, sit the fuck down because he was just being so extra all the way to the end of the episode. So yeah, Jughead, LVP.
For sure. The best line. My best line goes to Veronica in that moment where Archie tries to kiss her. And she's like, I kiss you, but you're sweaty. And it was just like so powerful and so savage too, because it was like, girl, like, are you changing right now? Like, what is happening to you? Like, you're not even gonna kiss your man just because he's sweaty?
And the
like, it was a
yes.
really big moment.
She definitely is changing.
Yeah.
She's definitely that person who's like looking at him now and being like, I'm a boss ass B, and like, who are you anymore? Like, you're just like a little
So I think
boy.
it just stood out to me too. Like, it was really like big.
My line actually also goes to Veronica, but it's when she's talking to her mom, Hermione, and she's talking about like Josie, and she's like, if they don't like how we do business, that's on them. And I think it's to your point, she's turning into this boss ass bitch, and she's like really like getting herself into her family's like world, and I'm kind of living for it. I'm down to see like where they go with her character and see like if she's gonna become this like savage ice queen, but not like the bitchy like, you know, queen bee, and more of the just like the savage like businesswoman. Which is kind of cool. So that's it. We reached out to Twitter, and I just want to do the quick results. The first was, what did you guys think of Veronica and the Pussycats singing without Josie McCoy during the Pickens Day episode? This episode. And 63% of you guys said, we miss Josie.
What did you feel about, like, what did you feel? Did you miss Josie?
I miss Josie. I think that she's like,
that's her place.
OG. And like, she felt some type of way about it, honestly.
Do you think that's going to cause some drama between the two later on?
I think so. I think there already is drama between them, especially like they
Josie, like the way she looked at Veronica in that moment, it was like, did you plan this all? Like, like the way Josie looked at her, like, oh my God. Like,
but also like, I don't know like where that's going to go. Is she going to become like civil war like with her? I don't know. And then my next question was, on a scale from 1 to 10, how annoying was Jughead this episode? And we got 40% of you guys saying 5, lukewarm.
Oh, you guys are nice.
Yeah, because I was down for
I was at like 15
over him. So anyway, that was that result. And just on a general level, what do you guys think of last night's episode? 86% of you guys said, so great. I loved it. And so did we. So that's it, guys. That's our episode. Thanks again for listening.
As always, yeah.
I'm so happy to be back. I'm happy that like we're up and doing this again.
And guys, honestly, it means so much to us that every week you guys want to hear us recap Riverdale. These podcasts do take a while to produce and edit and post, so we really appreciate you guys tuning in every week. Wherever you're listening, right? iTunes especially, we really appreciate the ratings, the reviews. It boosts our
likes and like our standings. So like if you guys can do us a favor, roll us up, throw us out there, share our links,
glow it up,
glow us up. Check us out on Instagram. Definitely check out those phone lyrics that NB's been putting together. Check out our YouTube channel. We're still producing some amazing top 5s. So yeah, just continue to stay engaged with Recap Rewind, and thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.